All right, it's big ball day. So before we start, we'll just take a couple of those shoulder rolls. Inhaling to lift, exhaling, dropping back and down, adding those elbows if you want, add a little bend of your knees. And then see if you can reach for your ball, bend your knees a whole bunch, roll it out a little bit, stick your booty in there like you're doing cow, and then pull in like you're doing a little cat. So just moving through cow. I'm going to turn sideways so you guys can see that better. So arching out in a cow and rolling back in a cat. Really articulating that spine, getting a lot of support from the ball. And then this time when you're out in that cow, leave it there for a moment. Roll the shoulders out of your ears. Keep your arms straight, but just squeeze forward and back. The tiniest movement, a little bit of shoulder warm up for 3, 2, and 1. Roll it back, pull in, roll it up. All right. Then we're going to reach down, grab that ball. Arms are out. Legs are nice and wide, little turnout in the toes. Squeeze the ball so you feel your arms engaged and just sit into that little squat. Two more. And this time just drop the ball and pick it up. And then you can start to get a little more aggressive. Slam the ball down and eventually slamming it down so it bounces high enough to lift you up, but not forgetting your good form. And relax. Woo! Hopefully a little bit of cardio warm up there. And we're going to go ahead and we'll sit right on top of that ball and just give yourself a little tiny, gentle, gentle, gentle bounce. Abs in, ribs down towards your hips, controlling that. And then steady that. And let's go into that seated cat-cow. Pressing those hips back and rolling them under. And then isolate the lower body from the upper body and continue that tuck and tip, but just with your hips this time. And then tie a little side to side. And then try front, side, back, side, circling in one direction and reverse it. And then a little odd one hip forward, other back, and then switch them up like you're walking sort of figure 8. And then stabilize. Okay, just as always, a couple reminders. I have my mat sort of off to the side initially, so I want to make sure my feet aren't on a mat that might slip away. If I'm feeling unstable, I'm going to go to a really nice wide base of support. You can see how that gives you more support. If you want more challenge, you walk your ankles and knees to touch. That'll feel a little more wobbly. And most of the time, we're going to be hip distance apart. All right. So from that hip distance apart position, let's straighten out the legs and then just naturally let the body shift forward until the knees are over the heels. And that should put you in just a slight angle, maybe a 45-degree angle, but your abs may feel already very engaged. Shoulders out of your ears, ears over your shoulders, open those arms low, and then bring them up and come up 1 inch. Bring it out, maybe try arms in a T position, lower them, come up. Exhale, hinge back, maybe try them up over in a V position to keep the ribs down, lower the hands to come up. Inhale at the top, exhale, maybe those arms go up overhead in an I position. And again, you're gonna lower them to make that lift that's very small. So you're choosing, we're just doing a few of these, very small, easy, well, maybe not easy, small movement. And then on this last one, you choose to hold it back with the arms out, 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 and out, or overhead, abs in. Find one that works for you for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then lay out over the ball and walk forward until your head is off the ball, but your hips are hopefully still supported. Bring just those middle 3 fingers to the back of your head, not your neck. And again, we're not interlacing and pulling with our elbows like that. We're going to let the head relax into the arms. Deep breath in. On the exhale, allow your body to drop up overhead. Inhale there. Exhale, close the ribs to the hips. You're keeping your head in alignment as you inhale up and over and exhale to close the ribs. So I'm not lifting and lowering my chin like that. It stays in one spot, moving through negative to neutral. If you want a little more challenge, you can cradle your head between your biceps and create a long lever. If that's uncomfortable and you still want a little extra weight over your head, crisscross at the forearms, hands support your shoulders. 2 more. Beautiful. Then we're going to roll even further out. Take a moment, let your head rest, and then slide your hands out to a T position. All right. Lift your glutes so you're in a bridge pose. So basically from your knees to your hips to your shoulders, you're in a straight line. And that might be all you do. You may even want a wider stance, and you could choose to stay here, or you could do a tiny little lift and squeeze. Lift and squeeze. If you want a little more challenge, walk the feet to parallel with your knees and your hips. And again, you can stay there, or you can do that small lift and lower. If you want a big challenge, your knees come together and you keep your hips lifted. And again, you could squeeze. Then if you want the last couple levels, I'm going to go back to a wider stance, and I'm going to lift one heel at a time and see how that works out for me. If that's okay, maybe I'm going to lift a foot. Trying to keep my hips up. If that works, I'm going to try lifting a knee to tabletop. And if that works, I'm going to try extending my leg. And if that works, then I'm going to lift my leg and I'm going to try and draw a circle on the ceiling. And when you feel like you're all done, roll all the way back and come right back up on the top of your ball, please. And then let's do that little cat-cow movement, full spine again. Beautiful. All right. Since our mat is all folded up, we'll start with those exercises. So you're going to come onto your mat with your knees, but the ball will be off the mat out in front of you. And we're going to drop down into a tiny little ball so that our heels and our hips are really close together. I'm sitting back. My elbows are down near my thighs, and I'm squinched up close together. And my forearms and biceps are touching. And then I'm going to start to roll forward, lifting toes up in the air. rolling forward so I'm on the tops of my thighs, not my kneecaps. And then I'm going to see if I can reach my arms straight, keep the belly button pulled in, come out in a plank, and then pull in to come back in a pike. The challenge here is as you go out, to not let your ribs drop down and your low back sag. And we'll do one more. We're going to see how far out we can go. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pull it back, put it underneath your belly button, and let the body flop over it. Ooh, that should feel good. All right, we're going to bring our hands onto the ball. We're going to bring our feet wider than our mat so that we can tuck our toes and straighten our legs. And that ball basically comes underneath your hips. Hands on the ball. Use that support to give yourself a little spinal extension. And legs are fairly straight. If you want a little more work in the low back, come up just to fingertips. And if you want more than that, hands come down by your sides, rotate those shoulders, squeeze them together, and lift here. And then you can bend those knees, take a little relax here for a second. And then press it forward again. And let's keep the hands on the ball, but lift one leg. And bring that down, try and lift the other leg. And bring that down. And put your hands on the ground. Lift one leg in the opposite arm. And one hand in the opposite arm. So a little bird dog. That was just a preview of things yet to come. We're going to walk forward until our hips are the highest point of our body. So we're an inverted V. Bring your feet together. And then you're going to lift those legs as a unit. We're working that same area of the low back, but in what we call a reverse hyperextension. Good. And now, from that, we're going to make sure that our hands are pretty close together, so there's only about an inch or two between your thumbs, and that your wrists are at least a foot in front of your ball, because moving as a unit, I'm going to lower my upper body and equally lift my lower body. I'm not actually lifting it, it's just counterweight as I go into a Pilates push-up. Elbows come backwards, grazing my ribs, pointing toward the ball. And as much as the lower body goes up, the upper body comes down. You want more challenge, walk those hands further out, and you'll have more weight in your upper body, a little more challenge. Beautiful. All right, so now we're in a plank. That ball is probably underneath your hips. Check out your legs, make sure they're stick straight, they're not bent and saggy. You can point the toes, you can flex the heels. If you want more challenge, walk your hands further forward so that you can drag the ball down to your thighs or toward the knees. And again, keeping those legs straight, pressing that floor away, staying strong in your upper body. You want more, you walk your hands even further away, drag that ball all the way down to your shins towards your ankles. And if you want more, you can walk even further forward and bring that ball underneath your ankles. And then as you're ready, take it back. Woo, flop over it. And then we're going to go back where we were a minute ago when we did that bird dog. So you can have your legs wide or you can have them together. If they're on your mat, make sure it's not slippery. And then once again, you can try a single leg and a single arm and hold that. The other hand is on the ground for support. Beautiful. And then maybe you try lifting both legs. And then you try how much can you lift your arms and upper body. And then if you want, you try Superman, which is all four limbs. And then flop and relax. All right. And then with our mat still rolled up, we're going to come to a position, again, where the ball is on the floor. And we are just in front of our mat so that when we lie down, it'll be right underneath us. And then we'll just stretch our legs out, arms out into a T position, palms up. Nice passive stretch here, or just relaxation. That is not going to last any longer. Because we're going to go into our bridge series. So my feet are about hip distance apart. Option one is simply lift in a bridge and hold this. If I want more challenge, I'm going to walk my feet close together. If I need more stability, I'm going to bring them apart. I could try lifting both my arms and see how that is. And if all of that feels like you want one more level, put your hands back down, and then one leg at a time, you're going to lift and lower just 3 times on each leg, because we have 3 variations of this. All right, keeping your hips up, roll the ball to you if you want to go to the next level. So now your feet are at maybe a 1 o'clock position. Again, you could stay here and hover the hands, walk the feet wider if you need to, or if you want, try that single leg. And then we'll take a quick break before the last level. If you want that last level, you're going to roll the ball all the way in so it's almost touching your hamstrings, and the only thing on the ball are your heels. Deep breath in, exhale, lift it up. Again, options, try hovering the hands, go wider if you need to, lift and lower leg if you want. And back out to first position. Woo! Palms back, open, arms into a T. All right. Here comes that hamstring and booty work, yippee. So hands might come a little closer to your sides. We're going to start with the legs where they are. If you can bring everything to touch, that'll be a little more effective. Lift the hips in your bridge, and then drag the ball back, hamstring curl. If you want more, put one leg in the air, curl with the other leg. 5 times. And then switch legs. And we'll take a break again. Woo, that should have been something on the hamstring. We will stretch them after this last one, which is glute work. So hands come down again. Roll the ball in close this time. Knees together. lift into your bridge, and then your option down and up an inch, 2 inches, all the way down, all the way up. And relax. Roll that out. Keep the ball underneath your right leg. Let the ball move to the right. Hug that left knee in towards your left shoulder. Move it out to the left. And then roll the right leg back in. Bring that left knee towards your right shoulder. And then rotate that leg open so the ankle rests on the right thigh. This might be enough. If you want a little more, start to bend the right knee and drag that ball in, deepening the stretch on your left hip. And if you want that last little bit, cross the left knee all the way over the right, pull in, arms into a T, let them move just a little bit to the right, just passive stretch. If you want, you could support by bending that right elbow and supporting the legs. Back through center, uncross and stretch it out. Well, hopefully that left leg feels much more alive. We're going to roll that to the left. Hug that right knee in and bring it to your right. And then we'll bring everything back through center and pull the right knee toward the left shoulder. And then cross it over the left thigh and press it open. Stay there or drag the left heel in, bend that left knee, deepening that stretch. Option to cross the right knee all the way over the left. And bend that left elbow. Press those legs into your left hand as you let them roll to the left. And back through center once again. Just stretch those legs out for a second. All right, you can keep your, what do you call that? Your mat folded in half if you want, or you can stretch it out. I think I'm going to leave it for now as is, but scoot a little more to center. And then we're going to put the feet on the ground. And hands on each side of the ball, straight arms again, just like we started with the beginning of class. And as you do that, give it a squeeze. Deep breath in, exhale, lift. Inhale, reach the ball overhead for ab prep. Back to center and down on the exhale. Inhale, prepare. Exhale to lift. Inhale, reach overhead. And exhale down. Deep breath in to prepare, exhale to lift, inhale if you wanted, a little fun. You can bounce the ball and catch it, unless there's a table in your way, and down. Deep breath in, exhale, lift, inhale up and overhead. We'll bounce if you want, and back to center. Don't have to add that. You don't even have to lift your head. Just keep your chin nodded yes. And when your arms go overhead, make sure that you are pulling your ribs down. And then on this last one, whether your head is lifted or not, reach the arms overhead. Be conscious of keeping that belly button pulled in, holding here, squeezing those arms for 4, 3, 2, and 1. And relax. Put that ball in the middle of your torso for a second. And then once again, it goes above us, but we're going to go tabletop with the arms. And we'll lift and we'll stretch the arms overhead, but we'll add the leg stretch for double leg stretch. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, bend and tap. And then if you want to, you could trade the ball off by lifting up, grabbing that ball with your legs, and coming back down again. And then last option would be to bend the knees, come up, roll to your ankle, roll to your knee, and extend. And then wherever you are, hold for 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. All right. We're going to bring that ball in between our lower legs, arms open, ribs down, deep breath in, exhale, secure the belly button to the spine, and inhale, legs will move away from you slowly and come back up on an exhale, nice and slowly. So toe touch, ribs flat, head down. If you wanted to, we'll bring that ball up and move it to our ankles. And basically we're doing the same motion, but it's with that long lever double leg lower. A little more challenge. If you feel that too much in your low back or your hip flexors, you're going to move back to that bent knee position. And we'll all take a break. We're going to give our hip flexors some love. So let your right knee drop in, your left leg drop open. You can just rest the ball over to the right for a second. And then rotate back through center. Let your left knee drop in, right leg drop open. Ball goes to your left. And then back up through center. And we're going to bring that ball above us again. We're going to come up, sort of like we did for ab prep, but this time we're coming forward with the ball. We're going to inhale, hold here, exhale back down again. Inhale at the bottom, exhale to lift, inhale, hold, exhale down. Little option if you want, bring the arms a little overhead so that when you come up, you can toss that ball ahead of you and back down. Little toss ahead and back down. Don't have to add that. Adds a little bit of momentum, which we usually avoid. And then next option, when you're up, you can toss it overhead to come down. Toss it ahead, toss it behind, toss it ahead, oh, toss it behind, toss it ahead, toss it behind. Little cardio, little quick movement, but don't do that if that's not good for your spine. Get a little bit of air if you can. Woo, woo, and relax. Hi. Hopefully you feel that. We're going to bring those knees tabletop, squeezed again, palms out, and this time we're just going side to side. And then if you want to add on, legs go left. They come up and over your head, sort of, over to the right, and finish away. Then we're going to come to the right on an inhale. As we come overhead, we turn it into an exhale and finish down and around. We go left, starting inhale, up, down, and around. Finish with an exhale, go right, inhale. And of course, this could be done with those long legs, more like the corkscrew. So your choice. And then again, we'll take a little break. Soles of the feet together this time. Passive inner thigh. See if you can rest that ball on your ribs while you do this without it moving. Beautiful. And then we're going to bring those knees in. We're going to put that ball on top of the shins and curl up in a little ball. We're going to roll like a ball without kicking that ball across the room. Just a couple times. If it's safer for you, just roll side to side. Eventually choose a side, put the ball there. Top hand helps you up. And then we all meet up here. We'll put that ball out in front of us. Knees are bent. Pull those glutes up and out from under us. And then bring the ball back so that you can push down on it and feel that spine grow tall. You may be able to straighten your legs in this position. And then give it a little hinge forward. At the same time you're pushing down, we're not bouncing forward and back, we're just pressing down as we press forward. And bring that back. Bend those knees, feet on the ground, ball out in front of us. Exhale, hinge back. Inhale, option to lift the ball a little higher. Exhale, lower it to come up. Inhale. Exhale back. Inhale, lift. Exhale up. Inhale at the top. Exhale back. Inhale, lift. Only as much as makes sense for you. And take a quick break. Once again, soles of the feet can come together. You can hang out there for a second. And we're going to do one more round in this position, but this is a rotation. So I don't want you curled back. I want you lifted up fairly straight. And then that ball comes as if it's making an arc up and around and up and around. And relax. Whee. All right. We're coming up onto our knees, and the ball is going to be at our right hip. You're going to lean onto it with your right hip. Take your left leg in front, right leg behind. So we've got a nice wide base of support. And then lift that top arm and use your bottom arm to help you lift a little bit of oblique work here. Option to come up onto the fingertips only. And the option to take the hand off the ball and put it on your shoulder. This last one, we're going to hold up and we're going to pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the bottom knee, bring the top arm up and over, and let that ball roll underneath you, maybe giving you a little bit of a stretch in that area you just worked. We're going to stay on this same side. This time we're going to straighten the legs and stack them. But the good news is your right hand gets to be on the ground. Abs in, long straight line in your body. This hand can be here for support or on the top leg. Lift the top leg, point the toes, draw me a tiny circle, and reverse directions. Make the circle medium size, and reverse. And then biggest circles that you can make, maybe the size of the ball. And reverse. And relax, bend that knee. Just bring it in front just a little bit. Play with position there. And we're going to do the other side. So that ball is going to come over onto your left hip. You lean into it, right leg in front, left leg behind. Lifting up, maybe extending that top arm, maybe just fingertips on the bottom one, and maybe no hands, Mom. Last 2. We stay, we pulse for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bend the bottom knee, let that ball flop underneath your left ribs, right ribs, left ribs. And then that left, right hand, whatever, the bottom hand goes down, stack those legs up, point the top leg, tiny circles. Reverse. maybe medium size, and reverse. And then ball size, and reverse. And bend that knee. We're going to flip all the way over so the ball is behind us. And in tiny little squatty position, let the head rest on the ball. Stay here or lift up a little, let the arms come out, chest stretch here. And finally, last one, I'm not going to do, you can let that head drop overhead. And then gently roll your way up. Remember, we're staying on the ball. And then again, I'm going to just center it up. Okay. All right. So we're going to go back to that big cat-cow that we did at the beginning of class, full body movement. And then we're going to isolate again, just the hips tucking and tipping. And then take both hands over a little bit to your left and do that tuck and tip with the hips. And then back through center, a little bit to the right, same tuck and tip. Beautiful. Come on back to center. We're going to do our little play time. You're going to see if you could lift your feet off the ground and hang out here for a few seconds. If you can do that, you might try a little side to side, forward, back, a little circle if you want. Don't have to. And relax down. All right, stretch time. We are on the ball, but you can use your hands to press into the ball for support. Let's take that right leg across the left. And then again, press into the ball so that you grow very tall out of that spine. And then if you want, push the ball behind you so you're hinging forward a little bit. Bring that back to middle, cross that leg over. And then options, take your right hand on the outside of that leg, just give it a really gentle rotation, staying tall in your spine. Back through center, uncross. Left leg crosses the right. Press into the ball to grow super tall and push it back. And then you can let that leg cross. Left arm comes across tiny little bit, lift tall, and gently uncross. All right, let's make that a big, aggressive cat-cow again. And then one more time, we're going to isolate just the hips. Now keep the hips back in your cow and try and isolate just the upper body. And then put the two together. Beautiful. All right, wide stance, gentle bounce. Try not to make it floppy, but very controlled. As always, I'll count down by from 4. We'll get a little bit bigger in our bounce each time, so we get a little more air, and on 1 we come up. So we go 4, 3, 2, 1, boom. I think I shortchanged you.